Hello and welcome to today's presentation. My name is Jane Smolnick. I'm a naturopathic doctor and iridologist and also the owner of ultimatehealing.com. So today I want to talk about the health implications of stress. I also have a website which is adrenalmasters.com, really helping people focus on understanding that everything as far as our health goes relates to underlying stressors in the body on many different levels. So I call this a multi-viewpoint using light therapy as well and understanding what happens in the body with stress. So join me. So understanding how stress is actually destroying your health. Would you like to live in a body without accumulating stress? Do you have chronic digestive problems? Then there's chronic stress. Are you at risk for heart disease? Is your energy low? Have you had weight gain? Do you have chronic inflammation? How about blood sugar challenges? There are significant sources of stress in our life that we really can't avoid, but it's how we deal with them and manage them that is very important. Of course, financial stress is probably the highest here. We have work stress, economy stress, relationship stress, health problems, as well as even media stress. Stress from watching the news and finding out all the negative things that are happening in the world can significantly impact us, what's going on in our society as well. There's also the big challenges in life that we go through from time to time, things like divorce or separation, death of a loved one, a major accident or injury or trauma, diagnosis of a major illness for you or someone that you love, loss of a job or income, moving to a new home, a new area, relocating can be very stressful. And new job creates new stress for a period of time. And even death of loved pets can create a big stress for us. Why is stress so important? So back in 2009, the National Institute of Health said that 85 to 95% of all disease is caused by stress. Now they're actually recognizing that pretty much 100% of all disease is caused by an underlying stress of one sort or another. Even toxins create a stress in our body. Nutritional weaknesses create a stress in our body, besides things like emotions. So let's look at this. Types of stress. Positive stress could be a brief increase in heart rate, mild elevations in our stress hormones, and our body is designed to help us deal with things. Tolerable or serious temporary stress responses, buffered by supportive relationships, the things that we do in our life and the people who support us. But very toxic stress can be prolonged stress response in the body, in the absence of protective relationships as well. That's very damaging. Here's a picture of the stress performance curve. Too little stress, you're inactive, there's some apathy going on, a little bit laid back. That can be a little bit not okay as well. But optimal stress levels, we can do this. Sometimes if we stay in this state for too long, we get to fatigue. And then we get into exhaustion. There's too much stress. And then burnout, we have anxiety, panic, anger, and then breakdown, and we are just wiped out. So you have to be aware where you are on that bell curve. Okay? Sometimes we can be going and going and going, building up things in our life. Like me, I'm a little bit of an overachiever. I was just fascinated by the human body when I was young, and I was learning and taking all these classes and courses and having my own companies, and I was just fascinated. But after a while, it was exhausting to stay in that high level of busyness. The effects of stress on the body. You can have excessive hair loss and even baldness from too much stress. Neck and shoulder pain, muscular pain. Digestive system. When you're actually in a state of chronic stress, you're not digesting well. You can have gastritis, stomach ulcers, irritable colon. The stomach is very much affected by stress. Your skin can outbreak, such as problems with eczema, psoriasis. The brain can create insomnia, headaches, irritability, anxiety, depression, poor output of neurotransmitters. The mouth can create oral ulcers or even excessive dryness when we're stressed. We have a lack of saliva. Heart, cardiovascular disease, and hypertension. I'll explain a little bit more about that later because we get little stress tears in the lining of our arteries. Lungs can exacerbate asthmatic type conditions and even lead to more respiratory challenges and having a longer time recovering from them. Reproductive organs, menstrual disorders, recurrent vaginal infections, impotence, premature ejaculation in men, PMS, menopausal problems as well. So many different things are affected by stress. So if you had prolonged or excessive stress, are you an overachiever, a go-getter, a leader? Are you tired, not sleeping great? Perhaps you can't relax your mind from tension and worry. How's your digestion? How about your sex hormones and your sex drive? Gaining belly fat? Aging too quickly? Getting aches and pains? Perhaps you realize it's time to learn more about this and see what you can do to support your body. Your health has been affected if you've had stress. If you've been under excessive or prolonged stress, your health's been affected. There's a cascading effect that occurs as the body utilizes more metabolic resources and energy to respond to the imposed threat, and leaves less resources available for our regular functions like rest, renew, repair, digest, sleep, and allow the body to do its normal functions. Hans Selye said, "Every stress leaves an indelible scar, and the organism pays for its survival after a stressful situation by becoming a little older." Dr. Hans Selye was an Australian-Canadian endocrinologist who conducted extensive research on stress and its effect on the body. This quote summarizes the belief that stress affects the human body by aging and other natural body responses that occur when we encounter various stressors. Actually, when we're stressed, our body's producing a ton more free radicals, which creates free radical damage and leads to aging. Free radical oxidative stress damage affects every single body system. It affects the heart, it affects our eyes, the way we see things, all our organs, endocrine systems, the blood vessels, the immune system, the brain is affected, lungs, joints, kidneys, skin. Absolutely everything is affected by excessive free radical stress in the body. And understanding the stages of stress is essential. First, we have acute stress. This is the initial reaction that we're faced with when we have a perceived threat or danger. It immediately activates our fight or flight response and releases the stress hormones such as adrenaline, noradrenaline, cortisol, epinephrine. So these hormones enable you to do things that you might not otherwise be able to do. It reduces the ability to digest, increases your heart rate, turns glycogen into glucose, getting more sugar into your bloodstream for energy. Problem is when we are stuck in not just acute stress. I mean, acute stress is something that occurs and should only occur maybe a couple of times a month. Our body deals with the stress and then goes back to its normal response. But when we've been under stress for extended periods of time, the body hasn't had a chance to fully relax and recover and go back to its normal functioning. So now your body's defenses become weaker as you're into stage 2, the adaptation stage. We adapt to a certain level of stress that's a little bit beyond our comfort level. So the body's defenses become weakened. It allocates energy for the repair of damaged muscle tissue and lowers the production of your stress hormones. Although the body has shifted into the second phase of stress response, it remains on guard, particularly when the stressors persist and the body is required to fight them, although not as strong as it could during the initial period. And then once you've been in chronic stress, this can go on for months, even a few years. I know I went through chronic stress after several years of a lot of changes going on in my life. And after that, I went into the exhaustive stage where I kind of crashed. This is the period that you've had stress for an extended period of time. The body starts to lose its ability to combat the harmful impact of the stress hormones. The adaptive energy is all drained out. This can be considered burnout, stress overload, or exhaustion, which leads to more health problems if not corrected quickly. I know for me, after several years, needing to sell my medicinal herb company, I had to sell my big farm that I lived on. I went through a divorce. I relocated. I started my practice in a brand new state and city. And after all those changes and just constant stress dealing with all of that for several years in a row, my body just said, okay, we need to rest. I was exhausted. And it takes time to build that back up. So this is how it works. Your parasympathetic nervous system should be dominant. This is part of your autonomic nervous system. Parasympathetic is dominant. It's your ability to relax, repair, digest, eliminate, and sleep. An increase in your parasympathetic stimulation causes the heart rate to decrease. Stroke volume risk creates systemic vasodilation, opens up the arteries, and the heart response time to parasympathetic stimulation is almost instantaneous. If you can't relax from stress or worry and your system is dominated by fear and tension, you have a suppressed parasympathetic nervous system. Increased sympathetic stimulation causes an increase in heart rate, stroke volume, systemic vasoconstriction constricts the arteries, and the heart response time to sympathetic stimulation is relatively slow. So if you're in that fight or flight stress response for an extended period of time, and all of a sudden a trauma, an accident, something occurs, your body can't respond as sufficiently to it. Here's a picture of some of the effects of the autonomic nervous system. Along the left side here, you'll see the parasympathetic nervous system. Your eyes are functioning normally, taking in information. It stimulates the flow of saliva, relaxes and slows the heartbeat, constricts the bronchioles for breathing, stimulates peristalsis and secretion for digestion, stimulates the release of bile, contracts the bladder, and sends information through the vagus nerve up to the brain. Now, when your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, we're going to look on the right side here. All of a sudden, it will dilate your pupils and say, I have to take in more information. I have to be able to see what's going on. Is there a tiger chasing me? Or perhaps it's the IRS or your mother-in-law, who knows? It also will inhibit the flow of saliva because it says, you know what, we don't need to be worried about digesting right now. Accelerates the heartbeat to pump more blood into your system. Dilates the bronchi to get more air going on. Inhibits peristalsis secretion because it says we are not concerned with digesting right now. And then it will convert glycogen into glucose for extra sugar in the body to give you energy. It secretes adrenaline and noradrenaline, inhibits bladder contraction, and it sends a whole chain reaction of information into the ganglia of the nervous system. Your nervous system is on high alert. This is what happens. But the challenge is we start to adapt to this. And now our body can't digest really well. We're having challenges with the cardio system. You see, we're having challenges with blood sugar and so forth. At rest, both the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems are active with the parasympathetic dominance. The actual balance between them is constantly changing in an attempt to achieve optimal health, considering all your internal and external stimuli. Our body is designed to maintain balance. The cascade of health effects. When you're stressed, your body converts glycogen to glucose. Your blood sugar can become very difficult to control. Many people experience hypoglycemia and insulin resistance, which are precursors to hyperglycemia and diabetes, if not taken into control and managed well. Chronic digestive problems occur, and no matter how many supplements you take to try to correct it, until you relax that stress response and get the parasympathetic back up to its regular functioning, it doesn't have enough metabolic resources to digest properly. All the endocrine glands can be effective. Now, they can be pulled down in their ability to function as well as to create hormonal balance. Sluggish metabolism occurs. Weight gain in the form of belly fat is produced by too much cortisol in the system. The adrenals are overstressed. They can bring down the thyroid function. Your metabolism goes down. Pituitary and hypothalamus function goes down, as well as pineal, our ability to sleep well. Pancreas, even ovaries and testes can all start to become underactive. The immune system will also decline. The immune function will decrease, which can result in easily catching things like colds, flus, bronchitis, asthma, respiratory conditions, and taking a longer time to recover from them than most people. Instead of a few days, it might even be a few weeks. That's a good sign that your system is exhausted. Some people can have or develop autoimmune problems as well. Too many free radicals accumulate in the body, and the body has a hard time responding. Sexual function declines, and the sex hormones can become a problem as well. Your body is designed beautifully to help you, so it will reduce circulation to the reproductive organs first, as they are not vital to life. Both your desire and your ability to perform can be diminished. Testosterone and DHEA hormones can be greatly reduced, and this is seen in both men as well as women. Cardiovascular system declines. Circulation can become a challenge as stress tears occur in the endothelial lining of the arteries, which can create more plaque. Our nitric oxide production is decreased, and our ATP, or energy production of our cells, is reduced. We can have more pain, more inflammation, feel more fatigued. This increases our risk for heart disease. Are you at risk for heart disease? If you say yes to one or more of the following conditions, then you very well might be. If you have high blood pressure, a family history of heart disease, you get easily winded going up and down hills or stairs, high cholesterol or high triglycerides, if you're obese or overweight, have diabetes, blood sugar challenges, fibromyalgia, if you're a smoker or you have low energy and fatigue, erectile dysfunction, estrogen imbalance, or cold hands and feet. So nitric oxide and the endothelial health. A healthy endothelial lining. What you'll see, this is a cross-section of our arteries. Okay, so you have 100,000 miles of arteries in your one body. There's a very thin lining this called the endothelium. You'll see it being pointed to there. It's only one cell thick. It should be as thin and smooth and strong as Teflon. Okay? An unhealthy endothelium feels like Velcro, causing white blood cells and platelets to stick to it. What happens over the years is we get little stress tears in that very thin lining. When we're stressed, we're burning up more nutrients for our body to deal with things. So we get little stress tears, and our body's designed beautifully to help us. So what it does is it comes along and it patches things up with white blood cells, platelets, plaque, cholesterol, whatever it can find. I had low cholesterol, but I also had high plaque, just from stress. The challenge is if you don't correct, you can actually heal and reverse this 100% naturally. But if you don't correct it and you continue to have more stress tears where there's buildup, all it takes is a stress tear where there is this plaque buildup. And if a piece of that breaks off and travels through your arteries, you could have a stroke or a heart attack. So why is heart rate variability so important? Heart rate variability reflects the parasympathetic nervous system to the sympathetic nervous system ratio, which correlates with the levels of stress and the overall effect on the body. Heart rate variability has been identified as an accurate method of evaluating changes in the autonomic nervous system. HEARTMATH Institute uses this quite a bit. A low heart rate variability score predicts sudden death syndrome and a risk of all-cause mortality, which means if you're not testing well because you've had chronic or excessive stress, you are at a higher risk to have sudden death and problems, because should an accident, a trauma, or a stress occur, your body can't respond that quickly. You've exhausted your means of responding well. And it's a marker for many chronic disease conditions, as it pulls all your health down. Decreased heart rate variability is implicated in a wide range of conditions such as immune dysfunction, inflammation, chronic digestion, aging, a decline in muscle strength, metabolic stress syndrome, diabetes, certain types of cancers, osteoporosis, arthritis, fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's disease, poor circulation, periodontal disease, and more. But what is the miracle molecule that most of us are low in? Nitric oxide. Nitric oxide opens the arteries, strengthens the endothelium, and improves circulation. Nitric oxide also relieves inflammation and pain and causes vasodilation. There were several doctors that won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1998 by discovering that our body naturally produces nitric oxide, which causes that vasodilation, opens up the circulation. Light therapy is something that also greatly increases local nitric oxide. Red and infrared light release nitric oxide from the blood, improves your circulation, increases new capillaries, stimulates collagen, increases lymphatic activity, increases RNA and DNA synthesis, stimulates fibroblastic activity, increases phagocytosis, which is really like the scavengers that clean up the dead blood cells and toxins and debris in the blood and eliminates them. And also increases osteoblast, which actually strengthens the calcium in our bones. What is nitric oxide? It was actually named the Molecule of the Year by Science magazine in 1992. It's produced by the endothelial cell linings all along the 100,000 miles of blood vessels and capillaries in the human body. It keeps our blood vessels open, elastic, functioning properly. The nitric oxide pathway is considered the new metabolic pathway because it's found everywhere in the body. Dr. John Cook, in his book, The Cardiovascular Cure, wrote, "Most Americans are not producing enough nitric oxide in their blood vessels." There are therapeutic benefits to increasing your nitric oxide. Increase circulation at the site of treatment. You get to reduce the pain and restore sensation. Things like neuropathy can be reduced or eliminated. Supports the immune system, one of the best things to fight the flu and other conditions. Speeds up the wound healing, circulation, prevents amputations. Speeds up fracture, bone, tendon healing. Creates new blood vessels and new lymphatic vessels. Does nitric oxide directly decrease pain? This is from a few studies. Increases in local nitric oxide opens the arteries, strengthens the endothelium, reduces inflammation, and improves circulation. Nitric oxide may offer new approaches to the treatment of migraine, neuropathic pain, and other forms of chronic intractable pain that are resistant to classical pharmacotherapy, which means pharmaceuticals. Nitric oxide causes vasodilation, dilates the arteries. In fact, even Dr. Christiane Northrup calls nitric oxide is kind of like considered the chi of the body. Gives us energy. Fibromyalgia pain. This is from a study saying that there's a breakthrough in fibromyalgia. Researchers from Washington State University were successful in decreasing fibromyalgia pain by increasing the production of nitric oxide from the endothelial cells. Patients with fibromyalgia have low levels of nitric oxide. This deprives their muscles of the oxygen-rich blood and nutrients. Eventually, harmful toxins build up and causes debilitating pain, congestion, acid buildup. Nitric oxide delivers nutrients to the muscles by dilating the blood vessels, relieving inflammation, getting nutrients in and toxins out, and increasing energy production. What is the secret killer? The underlying cause of chronic illness, including heart disease, pain, and aging, is inflammation. Stress can create a lot of inflammation in the body. Events or conditions that turn on inflammatory responses. Microbial invasions, parasites, fungus, yeast, bacteria, mold, injuries, trauma, burns, diet, too many toxins in our diet, processed food. There are a lot of foods that create inflammation in our body. Sugar, alcohol, processed foods, wheat can create inflammation as well as corn. And too many toxins in our water, in our body care products, in our environment will also create inflammation. That's why it's important to help the body cleanse sufficiently. Diseases associated with silent inflammation could be things like obesity, metabolic stress syndrome, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer, arthritis, any inflammatory condition which has an itis at the end, allergies, asthma, and Alzheimer's as well. It's all about that immune system. It's about bulking up your immune system. Take cancer, for example. Cancer isn't the mystery illness your doctor and the rest of the medical establishment wants you to believe. Like other chronic diseases, cancer is your body's natural reaction to inflammation caused by the toxic modern environment around you. That's why cancer cells are constantly forming inside you. We live in a toxic world. But if your immune system is strong, it will swat those cancer cells like flies along with every other disease going. If you've been overstressed, then your immune system is declining. The problem is that inflammation destroys your immune system. The fact is your immune system has been under attack from inflammation-causing irritants for years, and you've been unaware of it because it's been happening at a cellular level. We are a highly inflamed society. But welcome to the stress-free zone. Let's learn a little bit about how to manage your stress. Stop stressing and start living. There's no greater wealth in this world than peace of mind. Stress can create a positive cycle too. You can have a positive behavioral response. You can do things to decrease your stress symptoms, improve your mood, beneficial thoughts, relaxation, meditation, self-talk, even talking with others can reduce our stress. Here's a few tips for self-care. If it feels wrong, don't do it. If you do, it'll stress you. Say exactly what you mean. Be in integrity with yourself. Don't be a people pleaser. Please yourself. Everyone else can take care of themselves. Trust your instincts. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut response and follow it. Never, ever speak bad about yourself. You might, instead of saying, oh, I hate this, I can never do this right, say, you know what, I used to never be able to do this well, and now I am learning every day to be better and better. Never give up on your dreams. Do what you love. Don't be afraid to say no, and don't be afraid to say yes. Be kind to yourself. Let go of what you can't control. Stay away from drama and negativity, and bring more love into your life. About nature, taking a walk out in nature is cheaper than therapy. When we're out in nature, we are kind of resonating with the vibration of nature and the Schumann wave, which is actually very calming for us. How about some stress-reducing foods? Walnuts, almonds, pistachios. I tell people avoid peanuts. They create inflammation. Avocados are excellent. Sweet potatoes, different fruits, a variety of fruits are excellent for us. We don't think about that very often. Having salmon, good quality chicken or free-range turkey as well. Spinach, any kind of dark green vegetables are very soothing and alkalizing to our system. So don't eat stressful inflammatory foods, processed foods, sweets, baked goods. Ugh, it makes your body worse. Here's 20 alternative approaches to stress. You can do things like yoga and Tai Chi or Qigong. Massage can be wonderful. Just deep breathing, just taking several deep breaths immediately relaxes the stress response in the autonomic nervous system. Using biofeedback, using meditation or prayer on a daily basis. Music therapy or art therapy can be excellent as a stress reducer. Using the emotion freedom technique, the tapping technique can be very helpful. Flower essences are wonderful for relaxing the stress, as well as essential oils. Homeopathic formulas can be very calming as well. Light therapy, I'm going to talk more about light therapy in a few minutes here because I love using light therapy to increase nitric oxide and reduce stress. Sometimes people enjoy crystals or gemstones, using guided imagery. Certain herbal supplements can be helpful, or even a dietary change. Acupuncture can help. Self-hypnosis can help. Psychic healing, energetic or Reiki healing, counseling, physical exercise, even sex, and chiropractic care can help. So let's talk about light therapy, also known as photonic stimulation. It's a powerful, effective, safe, and affordable technology that's revolutionizing medical treatment for pain, many neurological disorders, and a wide variety of musculoskeletal and soft tissue maladies. Quantum healing with light photons is poised to become mainstream in medical practice. This is the medicine of the future. It's already happening now. The results of using light therapy, a combination of LED light pads and the quantum vibrational frequencies that are pulsed through the pads, relaxes the stress response and allows the parasympathetic nervous system to come back into that healthy dominance. Your body now has more energy for its normal functions and responds to stress more effectively. The more you use light therapy, the more you're retraining your body to go back into a healthy, balanced state. How does it work? Light therapy has the ability to excite electrons within the energy-producing mitochondria of the cells in injured tissues. This process enables cells to increase production of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is your energy production, and therefore it stimulates a return to a more normal cellular physiology. Plus, it normalizes the regulation of the autonomic nervous system, regulation of the blood flow to injured tissues, relieves pain, inflammation, and promotes faster healing. It increases the production of nitric oxide. What does light therapy do? It increases ATP production by as much as 150%. Adenosine triphosphate is ATP. That's the energy production of your cells. The mitochondria produces energy. You know, when we get older, we feel more tired. We don't have as much energy as when we were young. Well, because your ATP production has diminished. We need to increase that for more energy. Stimulates tissue granulation and connective tissue projections, which means it stimulates the repair of tissue. Stimulates acetylcholine release, which is really a neurotransmitter that reduces the excitability of the nerves. Decreases pain and numbness in extremities. Stimulates nitric oxide production and reduces inflammation. Also increases the body's vibrations, your inner integrity. Enhances cellular communication between your cells. And it activates a whole pharmacopoeia of the brain and glands, meaning your brain is actually producing neurotransmitters and hormones to keep your body in balance. Supports the release of hormones, de-stresses the adrenals, the nerves, the entire body, and shifts cell polarity. It's also very effective for ordering and structuring cellular water in the body. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. I've mentioned that. It's our physical strength, our stamina. It originates in the cell structures called mitochondria. The mitochondria produce ATP, which is a chemical that affects our metabolism and produces energy, both the fuel that cells need to do their work and the vitality we need to feel in our bodies. As we age, mitochondrial function gradually declines, as does the actual number of mitochondria. Is your ATP low? It's a common denominator in two conditions that involve extreme fatigue: chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. Many other adrenal fatigue syndromes, Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr, mono, even things like rheumatoid arthritis are affected. Chronic heart disease often follows decreased ATP production because the heart failure is caused by a lack of ATP production in the heart muscle cells. They don't have enough energy. Other age-related conditions seem to cause decreased ATP production as well, things like ischemic heart disease, angina, arrhythmia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, and Huntington's disease. According to Albert Einstein, he once stated that we are light and sound. Concerning matter, we have been all wrong. What we have called matter is really energy, whose vibration has been lowered to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter. There is only light and sound. Disease prevention is possible. In the field of vibrational medicine, the knowledge is that disharmony shows up in the energy field before it becomes a problem in the body. If imbalances can be detected while still in the energy field, theoretically, disease can be avoided altogether. But another plus for vibrational healing is that it seems to have no negative side effects. It does, however, tend to produce more smiles, more energy, and an overall feeling of well-being. That's using lights and frequencies. So what is vibrational healing? All known matter in the physical universe is fundamentally made up of vibration. Every object, including human organs, have a natural healthy vibratory rate known as a resonance. Vibrational medicine looks at the energy anatomy within and around the physical body. Everything in the universe is energy. Nothing is actually solid. Instead, objects are made up of microscopic particles vibrating at such a fast rate that they appear solid. Our limited sense of sight doesn't let us see the movement or vibration of the particles. These are light particles at different frequencies. The higher the frequency, the more complex the particle. Did you know your human body vibrates at, when you're healthy, an average of 62 to 68 megahertz, which means million pulses per second. That's why we don't see it. We appear solid. Dr. Paul Nogier is a French neurologist that discovered the Nogier frequencies. He said, sickness results when cells, molecules, or particles of matter are out of their normal resonance or vibratory pattern. By repeatedly exposing damaged tissue to the normal resonant frequencies associated with that tissue, healing often occurs and sometimes quite rapidly. The Nogier frequencies, Dr. Nogier was the founder of auricular acupuncture, acupuncture of the ear. He found that the cells in the body and the different organs of the body all resonate to certain frequencies. So hormones, endocrine system cells resonate to 73 hertz. Inflammation, infections are 147 hertz, and these keep doubling. Pain, body openings, brain, nerves, blood, skin resonates at 294 hertz. Lymphatic circulation, 587. Bones, reproductive organs, teeth, muscles, 1,174 hertz. For chronic conditions where you reach plateaus, this frequency is 2,349 hertz. And then to relieve pain and break up arthritic calcifications, it's 4,698 hertz. So these 7 Nogier frequencies are used commonly in a lot of different vibrational devices, including light therapy, to send that signal into the body of healthy tissue. Jonathan Goldman is the author of Healing Sounds, The Power of Harmonics. He said, if parts of the body become imbalanced, they may be healed through projecting the proper and correct frequencies back into the body. Every object, including human organs, have a natural, healthy vibratory rate referred to as a resonance. If part of the body begins to vibrate out of resonance or harmony, it creates what we term disease. Low frequency equals poor health. Research done by Bruce Tainio and Gary Young says the normal frequency range of the body, the brain is normal at 70 to 78 megahertz, which is million pulses per second. A brain frequency of 80 to 82 indicates a genius. A healthy body from the neck down is 62 to 68 megahertz. Cold symptoms can't even appear until you're down to 58 megahertz. Flu 57, Candida 55, Epstein-Barr 52, cancer at 42. So you see, actually the lower your frequency goes, the more acidic your body is as well, and the more prone to disease and destruction you are. This is a picture of a lung cancer cell. Health and vibration. Human cells start to mutate when their frequency drops below 62 megahertz. Low frequency also indicates a pH imbalance. Invading pathogenic frequencies, things like anthrax, plagues, microorganisms, are also very low frequency. Positive beneficial bacteria are very high frequency. Even essential oils are very high frequency. Stated simply, if we can keep the body frequency high enough and well oxygenated, we will be free of disease. Also managing your stress levels. Negative emotions create disease. Greg Braden wrote the book Awakening to Zero Point, Walking Between the Worlds, and many others. He said research results indicate that negative emotion causes the frequency of the body to decrease. On the other hand, feelings of love, joy, laughter, and other positive emotions cause the frequency of the body to increase. HeartMath Institute, I just love HeartMath. They found consistently that heart rate variability, testing of the heart rhythm, stood out as the most dynamic and reflective of the inner emotional states and stress. I use a vital scan system for heart rate variability, which brings up 12 different screens for me. And HeartMath is actually using the same system now. It was designed by a Russian medical doctor. Negative emotions create an increased disorder in the heart rhythms, and the autonomic nervous system is adversely affected and affects the rest of the body. Positive emotions create increased harmony and coherence in the heart rhythms and improve balance in the nervous system. The emotion code and heart walls. Renowned holistic physician Dr. Bradley Nelson, he connects the inner workings of the subconscious mind, revealing how emotionally charged events from your past can still be haunting you in the form of trapped emotions and cellular memories. Trapped emotions will often gather around the heart, creating a heart wall that may block you from giving and receiving love freely, being hurt, wounded, and betrayed. Trapped emotions can create pain, malfunction, eventually disease. In addition, they can exert a dramatic effect on how you think, the choices you make, and how successful you will be. Understanding the health implications. The heart is a highly complex, self-organized informational processing center with its own functional brain that communicates by the nervous system. Disharmony in the nervous system leads to inefficiency and stress on the heart and other organs, while harmonious rhythms are more efficient and less stressful to the body's systems. The original solfeggio frequencies can be used for emotionally helping the body, turning grief into joy, helping a person connect with their source to bring forth miracles, DNA repair, connecting with their spiritual family, solving situations, becoming more intuitive, and finally returning to spiritual order. These sacred musical tones can assist in all the channels in staying open, keeping the life force, the chi, literally flowing through the chakra system quite freely. The Solfeggio scale resonates with your DNA. All matter begins to vibrate at specific rates, and even the DNA has its own melody. These are 6 of the solfeggio frequencies, the picture that you're looking at here, as well as the cellular structure of water when they're giving that frequency. They create beautiful, healthy patterns. The ancient solfeggio frequencies can facilitate healing and awakening. These are used in the light therapy system. Ut, and they go by the Latin terms ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, helps to liberate guilt and fear, releases you from the feeling of guilt and fear by bringing down your defense mechanisms. It's also a means of grounding, awakening, sobering, and returning to what's real. Re is associated with breaking up crystallized emotional patterns, cleanses traumatic events, and clears destructive influences of past events and limiting beliefs from your cells. Mi is known as the love frequency, repairs the DNA, connects all the strands, associated with transformation and miracles, increased amount of life energy, clarity of mind, awareness, awakened or activated creativity, and ecstatic states like deep inner peace, dance, and celebration. Fa helps to reconnect the whole brain quadrant, interconnectedness, balances right and left brain, enhances communication, understanding, tolerance, and love. Sol cleanses the cell from different kinds of electromagnetic radiations, cleanses infections, viral, bacterial, and fungal, and it leads you to a pure, stable, and spiritual life. You make better choices. La is for awakening intuition, opening a person up for communication with their all-embracing spirit, raises awareness and opens a person to spiritual experiences. And then T is universal consciousness, awakens any system to its original perfect state. It's connected with the light and all-embracing spirit and enables a direct experience and the return of oneness. So these sacred solfeggio frequencies pulsed through the lights, which carries that information into your body, helps you to come back into that healthy, balanced state, no matter what's going on. And our bodies are over 70% water. If you're familiar with Dr. Emoto's work, you know what water looks like when there's a damaged water molecule, toxic water, and even negative thinking. But after infusing some sacred solfeggio frequencies, this one happens to be 528 hertz, the love frequency, into water, that same damaged molecule now has a healthier look. They're also like natural tuning forks. These signals act like a natural tuning fork, not just for the biological oscillations of the brain, but for all processes of life. With the advent of our new wireless technology, another threat is emerging. We may be creating an environment that's literally out of tune with nature itself. So by linking together the importance of the Schumann resonance and the dangers imposed by man-made pulse frequencies, it will become apparent that unless we find a way to use biological compatible signals to power our technology, we may expose all life to dangers not previously encountered. So simply put, just all the technology that we use, our computers, our cell phones, our tablets, our TVs, our satellite dishes, Wi-Fi in the house, microwave towers, cell phone towers everywhere. Basically, our biological systems have no idea how to work with that. They're aggressive information carrying waves that our human cellular system tries to protect itself, and it kind of hardens the cells, clumps them together. If you need help relaxing to de-stress, the Schumann wave, which is the frequency of the earth, helps you achieve a relaxed meditative condition called the alpha condition, where it calms the waves to 8 to 12 hertz, which is the brain waves of the pattern, into a calmer state, and stops the restless thought activities of the normal beta condition. The beta brainwave patterns are busier, your awake, active thinking mind. And to calm that down so that you can meditate, we use the Schumann wave to bring us down to an alpha state. It's a quieter state of mind, such as when you first wake up in the morning or just before bed. Using light and frequencies to heal, the regular use of light therapy with frequencies can help relax and retrain the nervous system to rebalance and strengthen the body. So get your happy on. Do what it is you need to do to relax the stress in the body, support your health in every way possible. Eating better, using meditation, prayer, things like that, going out in nature, using light therapy, all those things can be helpful. So here's a quick summary of the benefits. Stress reduction, neutrality, coming back into being neutral, and emotional balance. Dissolves cellular memory, shifts the cell polarity, clears emotional and energetic patterns, alkalizes and normalizes the cells, increases nitric oxide production, increases circulation, strengthens the arteries, stimulates the release of ATP or energy production, promotes cell regeneration, speeds up the healing process by as much as 144%, relieves pain in the nerves, reduces inflammation, detoxifies our systems, eliminates pathogens, and heals and opens our hearts. When we release stress, we eliminate our risk for heart disease physically. We digest, sleep, rest, and repair better. We release tension and trapped emotions, wounds, and heart walls to open up our hearts more fully. We become more loving, tender, and compassionate with ourselves as well as others. We care about the quality and value of life that others experience beyond our circle of close friends and family. We have more energy, joy, and balance in our life. We create strong personal relationships, setting clear and effective boundaries. And we embody real tenderness toward ourselves and others. So releasing stress, managing your stress, reducing your stress, supporting your body is essential. Healing the stress, rebalancing the body with love, light, and vibrations. My name is Dr. Jane Smolnick. I'm a naturopathic doctor, not a medical doctor. My website is ultimatehealing.com, and I also have a website called adrenalmasters.com. So please visit my website, and I work with people from all over if you'd like, or if you have any questions or information about light therapy or anything else, feel free to contact me through my website, ultimatehealing.com or adrenalmasters.com. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Bye.